Hello, this is Ankur Gupta, and in this video, I will be talking about how to set the data source in iReports using a JR data source provider as well as a custom JR data source. In my previous video, I have talked about how to set the data source using a bean set via array as well as collection. If you are interested in watching that, you could just find the link in the description. And so to start with, let me move on to the iReports and then NetBeans for the demo. So here's it. For this setting of this custom JR data source, first of all we need a data source. So this is my data source. I have named it JR file system data source. As what I intend to do is that in a folder I will pass a path of a folder into this constructor of JR file system data source. Then this path, then I will show all the contents of the folder in the folder. Along with this, the names of the content of the folder. I will also show whether it is in directory or not in terms of boolean true or false, as well as the size which is it is taking on the disk. So to do that, when we need to implement a JR data source, so it is signified as data source. So along with this constructor, I have two override functions. One is next. This next function, what does it do is it iterates among the files in the folder. So like file 1, then file 2, then file 3. So it basically provides an iteration and like index along with the indexing of the array. So and this get field value gets the field and stores it accordingly, like name, it gets the name of the file, then is directory yes or not, true or false accordingly for that, and gets a length, that is the size with it, which it takes on the disk. So now in order to set the custom JR data source, we require a factory class. So here is a factory class for the data source. Like I have used a function called JRDataSource. So it's returning the same, again a JR data source, as the type is JR data source. So it will initialize the constructor JR file system data source with the path. Now the folder looks like this. There are three directories and these many of the uh, the files in it. So let it put up in the iReports. So for this, first of all, you need to compile it and for put the jar in the class path. Here I have placed it already. So you need to place it in the class path. Then you need to set the data source. So here there is an option called custom JR data source. Now here the name of the source, and here is a factory class which contains the function to get the data source. So our factory class would be, and remember the factory class path should be qualified. So package name is JRDS and factory class is factory class data source. So this all will go into this. I have already made one to cut out the time. So let me just show you custom JRData source. This is JRDS.factory class data source and the function is generate ds. As I've shown you, this generate ds. This gets the JRData source as an input. So we can test it. it says successful. Now the I have just created a report. Now there is a drawback in this. Actually, when you try to say, if you want the values of the fields, you need to manually create the fields, like add field, as we have already done. We have add field 1, and then the name of the field should be, as we have seen over in the data source. The three fields are name, is directory, and total space. So we need to create three of them, three fields. So let me just name it as name. The field class will be string, and now we could just place it into the detail band. So let me just preview it. See, the name is coming as it is. So the thing is that we need to create these all fields on our own, and place it into the band accordingly, and we need to just, I will just show you the whole list which is coming. This is the list. Okay, so it tallies according to our folder here. I have just made a full report. Let me just show you. Now this is a report which I have created earlier, and it again I have created three of the fields over here, is directory, total space, and name. I have placed each of them in the detail band, as you can see there, and let me just preview this. So here is the whole list. Now we could just tally it with it. So the three true values are the directory values. One is Jasper report. See the Jasper report. Another one is sample test JRXML. It is also directory. So here is a directory for this. Server batch files. So this is again a file, a folder. Rest all is directories false because each of them are files. So the values are coming pretty good. So now let me just show you what are the changes. Now this is really pain, like creating fields over here and putting over here. So instead we could use a JR data source provider class. So for that, what we need to do, the data source would remain the same, just the changes will be over a factory class. So now this is a data source provider class. So my class name is JR File System Data Source Provider. It implements the JR Data Source Provider. Now it has got some override methods. First of all is supports get field operation. That should be false, as we need not get any operations done on the fields. We just need to get the values. It could be done if we want to customize further. And then is the create method, which creates the JRData. So this is same as the factory class we have done over in the factory class for custom JRData source. And another is dispose, just to delete, we don't require this. And now this is the most important, like we need to get fields by the provider, as we have seen that in the report we need to set our fields. So instead what we can do is, like in this function we could define our fields. So a small modification is done in JRDataSource. There is a custom function called field names. Like this is my created, this is just a name I have given, field names. So now this contains an array which lists all the three or whatever number of fields are there in the requirement. All these three fields I have listed over here. Now I'm returning the field names. So let me just go to the factory class for the provider. Okay. Now here we are creating fields and getting the field names. We have field names. I'm iterating over the fields and just setting the name and the value for the fields and returning the JR fields to the array, and this returns the fields. So this much is to be done. Now what is to be done in the iReports? Let me just create a new JRDataSource provider. Now here simply you could give the name of the provider data source, and here is the data source provider class, the class we made later, which implements JRDataSource provider. So I have created one to just show you all. So here is the data source provider. Now the name of the class should be qualified. So my package is data source provider and my class is JR file system data source provider. So this is same over here. Let me just test it. It says okay, save it. I have already chosen data source provider. Let me just clear this out. Okay. Now let me just go here and remove this first. Okay. Now here is a tab called data source provider. You just need to fetch the data source. Click on this get fields from data source. See, all the three fields are here which we set over there. Now we could do an OK and see fields are already listed over there. We could just drag all these three over here, the details band, and we are good to go. Let me just put a title over here. Title, a static text do data source provider. Size a bit visible. Okay. Let me just run it. See, it produces same result as we have seen over here. See, just the same result. So result isn't changing, just the thing which is changed over here is the way of retrieving the values from the JRData source. So hope you like my video. If you like my video, you can follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is Ankur_AUG, or either could follow me on Facebook or LinkedIn or my blogspot. My blog address is ankurthetechie.blogspot.in. In my next video, I will be coming up with Excel as a data source or NCSV as well as XML. So that will cover all the data sources we can use in iReports, and others are also there, but I will be focusing basically on these. So stay tuned, and in my next video I will be coming up with more data sources. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you.